we are broadcasting to you from our floor.
This is what our floor looks like. That's the sofa, that's the sideboard.
I'm the husband.
And he's the husband. Good morning, Sam, Sally and Ian, David, Shirley. Good morning, Janice. We're sitting on the floor today because I feel like I've been sitting down on the sofa an awful lot. And so we decided to sit on the floor.
Yes, and we're going to explain to you exactly why we're sitting on the floor a little bit later. This is like Blue Peter, isn't it? A little bit later we're going to make a Christmas decoration out of sticky back plastic and coat hangers.
Wow, who knew? Who knew? Good morning everyone. How are you today? Are you feeling it on a Monday? You're not feeling it? You're feeling like you want to go back to bed? Or are you ready for a new day? Are you ready for the sunshine and whatever life is going to throw at you today? And come and grab a cup of tea or coffee, regardless of how you feel. Hopefully we can cheer you up and share some positive vibes with you this morning. Morning Lorraine, Maria, Carolyn.
This morning we've got all our usual bag of good news for you, which we want to share with you. Good things that are happening around the world. We're going to be sharing a word of wisdom today, and we're talking about rewilding the body. We're just not going to launch into that until everybody joins us, but suffice to say, you need to abandon your chairs for today. Throw the chairs away, cast the sofa aside and join us with a cushion on the floor.
Come and sit. I've actually got a little cushion under my bottom. So come and sit on the floor, see how it feels. Come out of the sedentary position that locks up your hip flexors, and when you try and get up from the sofa you're like, oh, I can't get back up again. You might not be able to get back up from the floor, but we'll take one step at a time.
We'll come and help you up.
Yes, definitely.
Once lockdown is over.
Yes. We'll have to leave you on the floor for lockdown.
In the news today, the Prime Minister returns to work, which is a wonderful thing. Big cheer for Boris coming back to work. I have to say he looked a little haggard.
Oh, bless him. He's still got cool hair though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so welcome back to work, Boris. Hopefully they've put a nice little package of muffins on your desk to welcome you back into Parliament. And he's under huge pressure about lockdown rules, etc, etc. Just don't put pressure on the guy. Just stay in for now. Stay in.
Yeah, have another cookie and some milk.
No, just stay in for now. And it'll all get sorted in the end. Just don't put pressure on the guy just yet.
Oh, okay, allow him a day.
I'm sure he's got a whole pile of papers waiting on his desk though.
In other good news today, it is Tom Moore, Captain Tom Moore's 100th birthday today. And he has received somewhere around 300,000 letters through the post.
Wasn't Gaze saying this morning, Gaze on your feed, that if you send a birthday card to Tom Moore, they send it for free?
Do they?
Yeah, I think that's right, Gaze, isn't it? They send it for free, but happy 100th birthday!
And to celebrate his birthday and the fact that he has raised over £29 million so far, they've produced their own little stamp, a special Happy Birthday Tom Moore stamp, which goes on every letter which is going to be sent all over the United Kingdom today. Is going to have wishing him a happy birthday. What a wonderful thing for a wonderful man.
And they're going to have the Spitfires fly over.
Yep.
To do this flyover. To celebrate him. So, happy 100 years. Can you imagine living for 100 years?
Yeah, I can imagine that.
No, I can't imagine.
As long as I've got my mobility, and that's what we're talking about today. In actual fact, all this week we're talking about the simple life, living a simple life, simplifying our lives in order that we can maximise our life. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 6 says, "Better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind." In other words, better to have one handful of something and be content and be happy and be at peace than have two handfuls and live a life of toil, of struggle, of striving and chasing after the wind, chasing after goals which can never be realised. And because of that, we're spending the entire week talking about how we simplify our lives and make it more fun and less cluttered.
Yeah, we actually, for those who probably know us or don't know us, we used to live in a 4-bedroom house before we moved into our 1-bedroom flat in Margate. And we had a lovely 4-bedroom place back in Rochester area. Big gardens, big house. Oh my gosh, the housework was balmy, people. And we pretty much sold it all.
Yeah.
We sold it all and decided to go and live our dream down here in Margate. And we got rid of everything. It was a whole 4-bedroom house full of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Stuff.
You've
Oh
heard of
my
minimalising.
gosh.
50 years worth for me, 50 years worth of clutter went.
I'd only been in there for 5 years, so I only came with like a bag of clothes and some stuff. But this one, he was a hoarder.
Oh man, and now we live in a flat which is very feng shui. There's not much around. You can see the floors are all clear. And that's something we're going to be talking about later on in this week as we go into this whole subject. And we don't know how long we're going to stay on this subject for, but it's really in right now. It's
Who knows? But it's been
message subject.
It's been really nice, actually. What I've realised is over this last month or so is that I don't actually need the amount of stuff that I thought I needed.
So what we are talking about today is about rewilding the body, living simply. So let's talk about why we're sitting on the ground. And why hopefully you've joined us on the ground and perhaps you're feeling a little uncomfortable now.
Anyone else on the floor? Give us a wave, like put your hand up.
About 2 years ago, those of you who know us, I ditched my shoes and I got rid of my shoes. I had a condition, a plantar fasciitis on the feet, which sounds worse than it is. And I'd been to see the specialists and they weren't giving me any answers at all. And I just went and thought about this for a while, and I thought, I wonder if it's my shoes that are not helping the problem. And so I ditched shoes. I took them off for over a year. We went through an entire summer, an entire winter, and half of an entire summer again with absolutely no shoes. I trudged through the snow with no shoes. We had no shoes at all. Sometimes flip-flops, but basically I'd wander around the shops, up the high street, I'd go for runs with no shoes at all. And it changed, it healed my feet, it healed my posture, and it changed my life. And we're talking today about how we rewild our body, and we can't all go and live in nature, but we can all learn to live naturally, live more naturally. And we've spoken before about how our posture, the way we sit at desks, the way we sit in an unnatural position on chairs, how that affects us, how it damages us, how it limits our mobility, and how it eventually turns us all into cripples. And so we thought, what a better way of getting flexible, rather than going to a flexibility class, because we do that. You can go to a flexibility class.
I do Flexi Friday on a Friday, people.
But you can go, and then you come home and sit back in a seat.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you drive there. So learning to sit on and live on the ground is a great way of staying flexible.
Kids do, don't they? You know, kids spend most of their time on the floor, rolling around, learning to walk and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Can we share some more good news?
Please do.
Yeah, some more good news. So the Chelsea Flower Show, anyone who has always wanted to go to the Chelsea Flower Show, but it's so expensive that you can't go, it's now going online, people. There's going to be access to all areas online. So anyone who does like a bit of flowering or planting or gardening, that kind of thing, Chelsea Flower Show is going to be online.
Indeed, a bit of flowering.
Yeah.
That's a new word.
Flowering.
I like that. A bit of flowering.
Anyone else like doing some flowering? Also, like on another subject, Dreamland, where we live, like Dreamland's right just out the back here. Dreamland is celebrating 100 years this year. 100 years of being open. So it opened when Tom Moore was born. Wow. So on Instagram, if any of you guys on Instagram, they are sharing 100 years worth of photos from Dreamland, from the Dreamland Trust. If you want to pop on and have a look at those, it was a very smart place to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very posh in the day. Very, very posh. It's not like the Lido.
Not now. They let anyone in now.
Right. Anyway, how many of you now are starting to feel a little uncomfortable with sitting on the floor? If you've joined us on the floor. And one of the reasons is because we are not used to it. We're not used to any of the positions, the resting positions. So when we were children, we would rest like this, cross-legged.
True.
Perhaps we would sit like this. Perhaps we would do our homework like this. And if you watch children, they're constantly moving. There's over 100 different ways of sitting and resting on the floor. And the reason why sitting on the floor can be so helpful and beneficial for your posture and for your flexibility is because you can't stay in one position for too long. So you're constantly changing it. And it's like a little Pilates or a little yoga workout. Now we've been doing this for a while now, and it affects your flexibility. You suddenly find you're able to do things you couldn't do before, simply because you're doing your reading on the floor. Yep. You're sitting with your laptop. Mm-hmm. Constantly moving, constantly putting your body into what are, further now, stress positions, but as time goes on, become positions of relaxation, and then you don't want to sit in a chair anymore. Yeah. All your muscles start strengthening again. Flexibility starts coming back.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, right, okay. I was expecting a bit more than that.
To you.
Oh, okay, thank you very much.
Seamless cut.
Yes, thank you. So, for me, for example, I used to work in secretarial work. I was oh my gosh, I can't remember what I used to be. I was a legal secretary and also a property lawyer. So I was used to sit at my desk all the time in this position. And my hip flexors, so the hip flexors are the bits at the top here, were just so tight that when I tried to get up and straighten up again, it was a real effort. And also my posture, I'd done this, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, and so I had to retrain my posture to bring my shoulders back. I'm not perfect, no one's perfect, but this has been really helpful to kind of work on the flexibility part again and retrain the body. You're never stuck in one position really for the rest of your life.
No.
You know.
Somebody who's really helped us in this is a chap called Tony Riddle. And Tony Riddle is they call him the natural lifestylist. Mm. And he's an extreme endurance athlete, an extreme runner. He runs everywhere barefoot. And he's one of the leading, in the world, one of the leading experts in body
posture.
Body posture.
Posture.
Look up his stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very, very helpful. How we live on the ground. And so I was doing a men's breakfast just a few days ago for a church in
Tunbridge.
Tunbridge, thank you, in Tunbridge. And some of the guys there were saying, look, how do we stay flexible when we have office? We're in an office and we're sitting at our desk like this. How do we maintain an openness and a flexibility? Mm. And simple answers are stand at your desk for a while. But standing at your desk with bad posture is just as bad as sitting at your desk with bad posture. And so you can try squatting down with your laptop. In these days of laptops, it's easy because you can take your laptop anywhere you want and you can work. Mm-hmm. When you were a kid and you did your homework, you didn't sit in a seat in the sofa all day. That would have been uncomfortable to you. Oh. You were on the floor, you were hunched over like this, then you were sitting back, then you were over on your stomach. And all of this kept you mobile, kept you flexible, kept you young.
Yeah, sure did. I'm going to change the subject again because we're going to keep on coming back to this.
I'm going to keep going back into different poses, different ways, over 100 different ways you can sit.
Good.
Back to you.
Let me tell you a little funny story about him this week, right? So we went out for a walk in the woods. To little woods called Tivoli, right near Hartsdale Park.
Oh, goodness.
And so we went out for a walk and just to talk about, what do we see the future looking like after this, etc., etc., talking about dreams. And walking back, we came back to the apartment and, within a lightning flash, he took his jogging bottoms off and threw them on the floor in, this, And this wasp flew out of his jogging bottoms, which I had to go and catch. And he managed to get stung, on the inner parts of the thigh, right, both sides, right up the top were wasp stings, just here. And then I had to go and catch the wasp, But he didn't even notice that he had a wasp in his jogging bottoms stinging him whilst we were walking along and talking, by the way. Like, how does that even happen?
I am just
How does that
tough.
even happen? So, needless to say, there were a lot of ice packs going on, and oh my gosh.
That was one mean wasp. I must have walked all the way back from the woods with this wasp in my trousers.
Yeah, with the wasp in his trousers, like, without even, like, noticing what was going on. And this poor wasp, it was a little bit docile.
Poor wasp.
It was a little bit docile.
It stung me 6 times.
It did. 3 on each leg. Yes, the ouch is definitely probably one of the... But I remember sitting on a wasp in Spain, actually, and it was a Spanish wasp, and they're mean. And I remember sitting on a wasp, I was in the back of my dad's car.
Yeah, sitting in Spain and stung by a Spanish wasp. Did it speak Spanish?
It did, hola. And as I lifted my bum cheek, it flew out and it stung me on the bum, and that was like the most painful thing ever. Yeah.
Mine was
that's the
definitely
story.
an English wasp. He spoke with a very good accent.
You did. You didn't say buona dia. Como está? That's how I knew it was a Spanish wasp.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Also, we went on a bike ride this week.
The day after the
day
wasp
after he
sting
got
incident.
stung. So we thought we'd go to a bike ride, we'll go to Reculver, which is really, really nice. And we went along the coastal path, we saw loads
Very
of birds, like yellowhammers and sparrowhawks and ducks and everything like that. And then we got back to the flat about 4 hours later and realised we'd done about 40k bike ride after he got stung. And
The thighs were somewhat sore.
the bum, oh my gosh, I couldn't, like, sitting down after a 40k bike ride. Well, we're going to try again this afternoon, but not that far. So have you ever been stung by a wasp or a bee? Don't have to tell us where, because some of those places they don't really care where they sting, do they?
Just let us know. If you're wondering why we're not reading out so much that you're typing this week, it's because in order to sit on the floor, we've had to move the cameras and everything further away, and by doing that means that I can't read the writing.
I can see it. So don't
but Joe
panic.
can.
Yes, it happens when you get a little bit older. I think they said in your 40s that your eyesight starts to go, isn't it?
Don't.
Don't worry, I've got that coming up in a few years' time, actually. But I can still see your comments, so don't panic. There's lots of people laughing and lots of wow faces with regards to your wasp.
Yes. It was a painful experience.
Yes. Talking about birds, I always have to have a wildlife slot.
Please.
The crane is making a comeback to the UK after 400 years of being absent. Now, there has been a few cranes, so it hasn't been completely absent, but they're now starting to breed more, they're making more of a comeback, and this is incredible news. 400 years! These poor little fellas haven't had, a presence here in the UK, and now they're back. And last night, I created my bird watch list for 2020. So I made a note of all the birds that I've seen so far this year. And now I'm going to make a note of all the birds that I want to see so far this year. And maybe I'll show it to you next time.
Indeed. What a good thing. So back to...
He's just on this one thing this morning.
No, I wasn't. I was going to come back to some other things. It's Tell a Story Day, National Tell a Story Day today.
It's National Tell a Story Day.
National Tell a Story Day.
What are you going to tell us?
I told the story of the wasp.
I told the story of the wasp.
Tell a Story Day. It's also National Prime Rib Day. Did you know there was such a thing as National Prime Rib Day?
That's got to be an American one, right?
I think so. National Prime Rib Day.
Oh, okay. So, who is ready for Shred for Summer?
Oh, drum roll.
Drum roll the bellies, please.
Come on.
That's my belly drum roll. Ooh, look at it roll. So, Shred for Summer, you would have received many, many emails into your account, some of which were meant to go, some of which were not meant to go.
Yes, technical failure there.
And yes, so we start this Saturday, May Day, 1st of May. I don't know about you, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
I feel a bit sluggish, a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to shred some weight, so running is going to be a bit easier for me.
Yeah.
So this week you will receive your meal plans, and look out for those. Your shopping list has already come into your accounts, into your email accounts. So you've got those. Shred for Summer. There's still probably 1 day left to sign up if you do want to come on this journey with us. What we've done is calculated how much you actually need to lose and started off on the right calorie count.
To achieve those goals which you told us about.
Yes, absolutely. So you'll be receiving those this week, and join us for our Shred for Summer starting on Saturday. So like have your last supper on Friday.
Yeah.
So my last supper is going to be Domino's pizza.
Yeah. And if you're not shredding for summer, then please join us along the sidelines, cheering all your friends on and people who are shredding. We've got about 35 people from all over the world who are joining us on this one, so we'd love you to come along for the ride. But if not, please cheer us on and cheer on your friends. If your friends are trying to lose a bit for the summer, cheer them on.
Don't invite them over for a barbecue or anything.
If you do, give them salad.
Oh yeah, I do love salads during the summer though. Like you can't beat like a good like ham and egg salad, like with a bit of dressing on it and perhaps some cheese and that kind of stuff. But all food aside, Shred for Summer coming this Saturday. So watch out for your food plans downloading into your inbox like this week. Yeah. So back to what it is to live a simple life.
Yes, thank you very much. And of course, back to rewilding the body. And one of the things we want to try and do is to keep our bodies so that we can live without all of the modern stuff of life. And if you're sitting on the floor with us today, you'll already start to realise just how hard that is. Many of our postural problems come from the fact that having sat in chairs for so many years, our hips now rotate forward when we stand, our back is out of alignment and our shoulders hunch forward. That means our pec minor muscles here are shortened here, tight here. The muscles of the back are lengthened, the trapezius muscles are lengthened and become weak, and we become hunched over, we lose flexibility. So what you're saying, I know what you're saying. If I could read your comments, you'd be saying, Tom, what can I do today? What can I do every day short of joining Joe's Flexi Friday class, which I would recommend you to do?
Yes.
And that's to start some ground living and incorporate it into your life. You can sit down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, perhaps to watch that episode of Neighbours or whatever it is you do. You don't have to sit, you can kneel. You can kneel on one leg, you can kneel on two legs. You can...
He's going to go through the whole thing now, look.
You can squat.
This is the catalogue.
If you've come to India with us, you know that this is the normal sitting position, particularly in more tribal areas. They'll sit round the campfire at night, or they'll sit in their homes and they'll just sit on their haunches like this for hours on end and chat. And the thing about this position is it strengthens all of those inner muscles, the abductor muscles, the adductor muscles. It gives mobility in the heels, gives mobility in the knees, and particularly in the hip complex, opens that all up, which is a fantastic thing. Now, you might only be able to get to here. That's okay. Put your heels up on block and then sit, gradually work your way down.
Yeah, put a towel at the back. But this is the way, like, when I was in India, we went into a village and I really needed a wee. And so they took me back into this little squatting in the back of this pastor's wife's garden where they were like, go to the loo here. So I was like, I looked at the hole in the ground and I was like, how on earth are you supposed to go for the loo in that? So I didn't realise that you actually had to squat down. And my squats at that time were horrendous because I had an office job. And so I actually sat on it with all the bugs. And I couldn't go. Anyway, I held it for about 8 or 9 hours, so that was good bladder control there. Yes, squatting is really important if you've got
ideas about heading out on the mission field, go to primitive
Gay
areas.
says she might get some funny looks at work. Gay's
Yeah.
a nurse, by the way.
Yeah,
Round of applause for Gay on the front line of the NHS.
excellent.
But yes, you could get some funny looks, Gay, when you're trying to change someone's dressing.
Yes. I was hearing today about a 76-year-old man who decided to get flexible, and one of the things he does, and he was talking on the train, he commutes every day, he still commutes, goes into work, and what he does on the train is he sits on the train, doesn't sit in a chair, he'll squat down on the floor like this on the train, and then for some of the journey, and then when the train stops, the doors open, the doors close, he'll then hang on the bars like monkey bars for the next bit of the journey, and then he'll stand on one leg and balance as the train goes a bit further. And I think that's so cool. I love that. I think that's a very cool thing.
If you've ever commuted on a train, you know that would be quite frowned upon. You never put your head above the parapet on a train, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so simple living, life from the ground up, we'll call it. Life from the ground up. So we're just going back to like childhood, just on the floor, making sure that your hips aren't getting stuck in place. A lot of people have pelvic tilts, especially some ladies have pelvic tilts, and this is all good for readjusting the posture and getting yourself back into alignment where you were originally created, rather than the hunch, a straightness.
One of the best things you can do for back pain, if you suffer from back pain, get off, burn the couch, get rid of the chairs,
Don't
sit
literally
on
burn
the floor.
couch. No, don't literally burn the couch. But yeah, see how it feels. Try it for a week. We're going to do like our coffee mornings from here for the next week.
For the next week,
And
we're going to be on
join
the
us.
floor.
Try not to spill your tea or coffee on the carpet, because it's a new carpet here. And don't spill your tea or coffee.
No, I'm good.
And see how you feel. Like, give it a go. We've got some time now. And give it a go. Try reading a book on the floor. Watching the television on the floor. And
Eating on the floor.
yeah, as long as you don't get your food on the floor.
Yeah, that's it. You can sit on a little cushion, get yourself a little cushion. Sit on that if your hip flexors are a little bit tight.
Yeah, it's the hip flexors that cause a lot of problems. Hip flexors that are tight also cause lower back pain. So anyone who wants a little lesson here, it's the muscle called the iliopsoas, which is the only muscle that links the lower body to the upper body. Starts in the hip flexor, goes to the lower back. So you've got tight hip flexors, you have a tight iliopsoas, which is pulling on the lower back, then which turns into sciatica, etc., etc.
Contact us if you have back pain and need solutions, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
So, the scripture we started with, Ecclesiastes 4:6, better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing or grasping after the wind, trying to catch hold of something which is always out. Contentment.
Contentment.
The simple life
Contentment.
starts with contentment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been half an hour.
Has it been?
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. And apparently Boris is just about to make an announcement, people. Boris is just about to make an announcement. He's back into the office, and this is us done. This is like half an hour on the floor.
But apparently Boris is going to make it from a kneeling position.
Yes, so we'll encourage Boris to get on the floor.
He's going to come and squat outside of number 10 and deliver his announcement.
I wonder if Boris wants to join Flexi Friday.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Anyone know any contacts? Can our people call his people? Can we get Boris on Zoom on Flexi Friday?
I'm sure we can manage that.
That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? That'd be so funny. Well,
That's
this
it.
is us. Have an amazing day.
God bless you.
Keep smiling. Do loads of get on the floor. Just be like you were when you were kids.
Roll around with the kids.
Yeah.
If the kids have grown up and leave home, roll around with the grandkids.
Just roll around. And we will see you. We are back here on Wednesday at 8:30. And hopefully this has been a good positivity into your atmosphere and giving you some ideas what to do with your day.
And if you do get stuck on the floor, 999 and ask for ambulance.
Don't 999 it. That is not an emergency.
Okay, you shout loudly and your neighbours might
If
come
you
and
get
help
stuck
you.
on the floor, just roll onto all fours, And then push yourself up from your upper body strength up onto the tops of your toes, and then you'll be fine. You can get yourself back up. Don't panic. You're going to be just fine. Don't listen to him.
Watch out for the wasps.
Yeah, be careful of the wasps. Don't let them up your jogging bottoms. Have an amazing day, people. We love you loads. We will see you on Wednesday, 8:30.
Indeed.
Don't be late. See you then.